What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Corner Wrestling Radio right here on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and on demand through Spreaker.com once it's uploaded. And the triple threat is complete tonight. That's right. 1, 2, and 3, ladies and gentlemen. All three of the triple threat are here.
And if you move over, I'll sit on the couch with the rest of you.
Oh, yeah. Give me some, little girl. I mean, hey.
Awkward fast. This show just got canceled.
What? Rob Hefner, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you. Sorry I've been gone, absent, but it's good to be back.
Have you been seeing another podcast behind our back? Another internet radio show. Is there an internet radio mistress, sir?
No.
And now for something completely different.
And there's Brian Taylor. What's up, Brian?
I'm not.
Huh? Oh, okay. He doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, I don't want to talk.
He's not ready yet.
But when you said all the other places you can find it, one cool thing I found out, and this probably shows really sadness on my part, but while I was traveling all those times, I went to my podcast app on my iPhone, and I put in Corner to Corner.
Yeah.
And alas, there we were.
What?
Wow. On the iPod.
On the iTunes. And I'm Stan Grubb, and we are the triple threat of internet wrestling radio. That's right. Corner to Corner is in his house tonight. Eddie Lane, how are you, sir?
And boom goes the dynamite.
You've been working on that all week.
No, if I really wanted to screw something up, I would go back and play the franchise clip that I do not let anybody have.
Wait, what? Well, now you've got to play it.
You know the one I'm talking about because I've had it ever since the day after it came out.
That just sounds scary.
Yeah, I know. Well, normally it's right here in front of me on tab number 4, and for some reason on the I think somehow or another it got shifted around. So, and SHIFTUD, shifted around.
That's not what I heard. I heard it with a silent F.
To which I can only say one thing.
Stink, stank, stunk.
This is like chats I've been in lately, like with GIFs.
Now,
like somebody's going to get on a thing and we're going to be audio clipping all night long.
So you had all day long to sit back there and think of a promo, and that's the only crap you could come up with?
That's the one That's the one.
I bet you he's been waiting to use that one, too.
And he used it on Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels before Beer Money and what were they called in TNA, damn it?
The Addiction?
No, before that, it's actually, it was from 2012, December 9th of 2012.
Were they called the Dirty Heels?
I think they might have been during that run.
Which, to me, seems like a stupid tag team name, but whatever.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, when it came to tag team names.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That's a pretty cool tag team name.
Says the man sitting here in a schmedium.
Maybe it's squeezing the life out of me. I don't know. It's a little uncomfortable.
The oxygen,
you guys staring at
the oxygen's not. It's not that we're staring. It's that we can't miss it.
I'm not giving you a choice. Oh yes, yeah, baby, yeah.
When the shirt comes up and the rolls come falling out.
Hey, there's no rolls.
Now, do me a favor.
It's just one giant roll.
I am going to hijack y'all for a hot second because as one of you has just come back in from a road trip, all three of you are getting ready to make a road trip, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, man.
You want me to do
Hey! Don't just say all three of us. You're going.
Well, it is
You're
the corner.
going.
It is the Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio Show, and you are the primary people on Corner to Corner. So I was putting the emphasis on the three hosts of Corner to Corner, not the.
The three of us are going to the trios. Get it? Three of us.
I will
trios.
I will do the honors. I will do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, for those longtime listeners to the show and short-time listeners to the show, if you are in the southeastern United States, Stan, Rob, and Brian will be at the Scenic City Trios live event this coming Saturday, November the 18th, Hickson High School in Hickson, Tennessee. That is right outside of Chattanooga. 5705 Middle Valley Road in Hickson, to be exact. You're going to have 8 trios teams as well as a special attraction match that a lot of people in the Southeast are going to know both of these guys. The People's Captain Gunnar Miller, one-on-one with Cyrus the Destroyer. There are teams representing individuals representing companies, but different trios teams have been put together for this. And matter of fact, come to find out, we now have another mutual acquaintance, guys. Dylan Hales, who is one of the trio in the front office of Scenic City. I understand he also does some work in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, he's done some for Nova Pro.
Yep.
He's actually he just did commentary for them not too long ago.
Yep. And 2/3 of that trio were on Beyond Ringside Live just a few moments ago. On the live, if you're listening live, it was just a few moments ago. If you're listening pre-recorded, it's more than that. But Dylan Hales and Scott Hensley.
Should have been there. It was awesome.
There you go. And, of course, Josh Massey rounds out that trio. So, so the Beyond Ringside family of shows and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network is going to be well representative. I'm making the trip up there. We're going to be setting things up to do interviews and possibly go live. From there, of course, we just stated the fact that the guys from Corner to Corner, Stan, Rob, and Brian, will be there. Reverend Dan Wilson, Tank, and Andrew Alexander from the Midnight Black Mass are going to be there. We are working on the logistics of the Wicked Nemesis and Angie Tessarian from the To Be Determined show to come on board and make the trip. Unfortunately, Josh O'Hagan from To Be Determined will not be able to make it. He has a prior engagement that night. Mark Mabo Bowman from Beyond Ringside Live will not be able to make it. He has an engagement on the 18th. Shane Knowles from the Shooters Gallery is going to be working behind the microphone at the Global Championship Wrestling live event in Pell City, Alabama, this coming Saturday night, November the 18th. So, hey, look, the family's going to be out and about, so definitely you'll find us somewhere. That's for doggone sure. I'm done.
I gotta tell you, I'm excited for this trios tournament. I mean, you got the Ducklings, you got the Gym Nasty Boys, you got, I mean, just all
the
these
Carnies.
The Carnies.
You can't forget the Carnies.
There's so many talented trios that Ethan Case is
with the Ducks.
With the Ducklings. Yep,
I've got the card here.
That's going to be an awesome team.
The Gym Nasty Boys and
Malachi Matthews.
Yes, thank you very much. And the Carnies, of course, is Trip Cassidy, Kerry Awful, and Nick Iggy.
Right.
Whew. You know, I always get their names confused.
If you want me to, I can run this down for you real quick. It won't take a second. You make a reference to it's a case of Ducklings, the Ugly Ducklings, and Ethan Case taking on Southern Motors, the Good Old Boys, and Torque in the second match, or I'm not sure what order this is, but in a follow-up match. First round matchup, there you go. The Rat Pack, known as the Gymnasty Boys and Malachi Matthews, taking on the Nightmare Mob, Joey and Matt Lynch teaming up with the Technical Wrestling Nightmare Kyle Matthews. First round matchup, Team Glory Pro, Myron Reed, Kurt Stallion, and Gary J versus Team Southern Underground Pro, AJ Gray, Kevin Koo, and Jaden Newman. And in the fourth first round matchup, made this public a little while ago, and we did confirm it. Everything that is in place has been side crash tested up to 35 miles an hour. Your seat can be used as a protection device in case this match goes crazy. The Viking War Party back together. Jake Parnell, Alex Rudolph, and Frank Wyatt taking on the Down South Dandy Nick Iggy, the Music City Mutt Kerry Awful, and their brother Trip Cassidy, and I do mean the Carnies.
Woo!
Amazing.
What his name is from the Gymnastic Boys? Timmy?
Timmy Lou Retton?
Yeah, and White Mike.
Timmy Lou?
Yep.
You yelled at your only fan at the AWE show, and I'm going to get a chance to do it again. So you better not yell at me this time, because it's going to get crazy.
Be careful, White Mike's going to be talking about your name.
White Mike's going to be in there wrestling while I'm going to be cheering on Timmy on the outside.
But you called him White Mike, and he's like,
I'm not Mike. I didn't call him White Mike. I know the difference between White Mike and Timmy.
I hope so, because that could be an awkward conversation in and of itself. Guys, we have got an exciting... Oh, my God. We got an exciting show tonight. We have got the UCW Heavyweight Champion coming on the air in a very short amount of time. Mr. Big Stuff, Billy Woody, joining us, of course, with his manager, KR Superstar from Big Stuff Industries. They'll be joining us tonight at about 9:30 after our first break. We'll be talking about November 25th for UCW. We've got an exciting event of wrestling action ahead of us. Ultimate Collision is coming to you from Winchester, Virginia. We will be broadcasting... This is always a tough call. We will try... I'm going to try to put this out there. We will try to broadcast live briefly. What I have learned since we have been started this journey with commentary is that it is a lot of planning and a lot of logistics that you do, but it is actually really hard to find a moment to truly sit down and put together a post-show or pre-show while you're at the venue, because you've got so many moving parts, so many people that you're interacting with. But we will do our best to put something together. I'm excited about the event. There's so much going on. We've got a battle royal that's going to be to decide the number one contender for the heavyweight championship. I am sure our guest upcoming this evening is going to have a lot to say about that. Ethan Cross is going to be defending the TV championship against Jimmy Flame. That matchup is going to be dynamite. Noise Pollution will be defending against the Reformation. I got to be honest, Reformation is a new tag team for UCW.
Is it Reformation or
I think
Reformation?
it's Reformation.
Is it Reformation?
Yeah.
I mean, the cool guy who did their audio commercials said it was the Reformation.
The Golden Pipes of UCW himself has corrected me. I apologize, sir. The Reformation.
But, as I did how many versions, I could be wrong. So, I mean...
and to coin a phrase, all right, Brian, what do you think?
I don't need your boobs. Boobs, I tell you. Boobs.
You know, one of the things as wrestling fans that I never understood until we started this is the intricate amounts of detail that there are to video and audio editing.
Well,
and
let me just
go ahead.
Stop you right there. Right in your tracks.
That's a little close.
Right in your tracks.
All right. But right there?
Because if we're going to go fandom for a minute.
Fandom for a minute.
Allow me
that's a good
pay
idea.
thanks or to congratulate and welcome, I guess would be the more appropriate term. As you can tell, we've had some alcohol.
A little bit.
Tonight, just a little bit.
Low flowing.
Yes. Gino Juicy Gambino, Australian wrestler, who is now officially the first Australian to don the black and white of the Bullet Club.
One sweet me, bro.
So, congratulations to him.
Yeah, that's dumb. I'm sorry. It's too sweet, damn it.
Well, nobody's looking you, Mark.
I'm saying
They're not going to cease and desist you on the radio.
It just looks dumb.
I'm going to smack the crap out of you because now you're going to sacred territory. You don't get to talk about the Bucks this way. Or I'll hung-buck you.
Whoa, hey. Nobody's
So anyway,
hung-bucking anybody.
Australia now has a Bullet Club member on their shores.
They're taking over.
Taking over the world. And thanks for retweeting me, too, by the way, this morning at 6 o'clock
What
a.m.
about-
Eastern Time.
What about the breaking news that we found out about this past week Wrestle Kingdom 12,
Ooh,
January
yes.
4th, the IWGP United States Champion Kenny Omega, the Cleaner, will be facing Y2J Chris freaking Jericho.
Oh,
This matchup is going to be, I dare say, it could be 2018's match of the year.
again
Right out of
in
the
January.
Right out of the gate, yeah.
Because it's been that way the last 2 years.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Okada
Right
and
out of the
Omega
gate.
the year before was amazing. The year prior to that, what was it, Brian? Because we watched that one together.
I don't remember.
It was Shinsuke. It was Shinsuke and Okada, I think. It was before he got signed. Anyway.
Well, you also had Shinsuke and AJ would have been about that time, too.
I mean-
I don't remember which one.
New Japan, and if you haven't paid attention to what's going on online right now, the talk of the town is New Japan coming back stateside in March.
March 15th, I believe,
And-
in Long Beach,
Yeah.
California. Long Beach. Yeah.
The opportunity for New Japan to really break out and become a major, major player, not just in Japan anymore, but also globally. They proved they could do it with the U.S. tournament special. And now when they come back stateside in March, the rumors and the news that we had heard, the reports, was that they were looking to start touring soon after that. And that could be a major, major move.
Well, you figure now, who knows about Jericho's status and how long he'll be in New Japan, whether it's a one and done or if he's going to take part in the conquering
Or
of the states.
could this be what we've only talked about in jest at points? Could this be the beginning of a working relationship between the two superpowers in wrestling?
Listen,
The two, I mean,
Jericho
WWE
is not signed by the WWE.
except that he's not. Here's the thing: he goes back every time they want him.
Sure.
So why couldn't he be the only guy capable of linking the two?
Yeah, but just because he were to go back and forth, that doesn't put them in a working relationship.
All I'm saying is what if. I'm not saying they are or are not. It's just a what if they are.
See, you always want to hold on to the machine as tight as you can. You need to let it go.
I don't think
Let
that's...
it go.
Oh,
Let
God.
it go.
No, don't give him beer. He's singing. Good God. No,
I
no,
will scratch
stop,
your neck.
stop it. Stop it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm uncomfortable around you now.
And
Stan is still that fan who is sitting at home
holds out
with
hope.
his Shawn Michaels windbreaker,
Right. The WWE rules it all.
the Hulk Hogan, the Red Hulk rules hat, the Bret Hart sunglasses.
Wait, Hulk doesn't rule? Ah, damn it. Hey, okay, let's be serious because there's another thing I want to talk about.
Shirley can't call me serious.
I'm sorry.
Is his name Shirley or Serious?
What about ESPN's?
Wait, no,
tremendous-
we should cover that after. That
You want us to
that's
do
a
that after?
discussion. Yeah,
All right,
let's
we'll do that
discuss
after
one
we talk on this.
because we still have some. Sammy Callahan is scheduled for a New Japan show.
That's right. That's
Sammy
right.
Callahan, Jimmy Jacobs, and Ethan.
What about Jimmy Jacobs and Jimmy Jacobs showing up on Impact?
Sammy Callahan on Impact. Ethan
Page.
Ethan Page on Impact.
Ethan, that guy that doesn't like our interviews, Page.
Oh, don't act all big and bad. You retweet everything he says. You comment on everything.
I keep hoping he's
You
gonna
wear
come
his
back.
shirt with
Keep
proud.
hope alive.
I keep hope alive that he's going to come back.
I would too.
Come back, Ethan.
You never know.
We miss
you.
you.
Never know. Yeah, we miss you.
It was you know what? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't our fault. It was just an
No,
unfortunate
I'm pretty sure it was an air fault. I mean,
No, we're not taking the blame
we're
on
gonna take
that.
the blame for it, kid.
Damn it!
But however, if you go back and look, there has been quite the rebound. So,
And that's
You know,
okay. We'll take it.
hey, drink your beer. Let's move on.
Drink my beer.
What else? What other little snippet we got to throw in there before the champ comes on?
Nothing. Let's go to break.
I think though in the future when we get When we get KR coming on, we should all get drunk first. See how he likes 3 drunk guys. Yeah.
Hey, before you know what? Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you bringing that up. Before we go to break, 2 minutes on the announcement that was just released this past weekend. Well, twofold. Returning Monday night to the women's division, Paige. Big deal or not, Rob?
Oh, a big deal.
I think the wrong person got in her head, and now that person's out of her head, and she's been at the training center, performance center, working it out. She's going to be a great addition to the women's roster.
Well, I'd love to see her back. I don't know if I'd put her on. I guess she'd probably fit quite nicely on Raw. However, I just hope they don't try and Melina her or Big Red her.
Oh, no.
And she comes back in a totally...
Somebody said that she was supposed to be Sister Abigail. But they were going to repackage her and bring her back as Sister Abigail.
Wow.
There was talk about that, and then there was talk that Nikki Cross was going to be Sister Abigail, which I think Nikki Cross would be a dynamite Sister Abigail.
Yeah, but only if you bring Sanity in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you would have to bring
the
him up.
The Wyatt family basically is Sanity.
Yeah, Sanity.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, and then just this morning, thank you again, Eddie, Triple H announcing that he will be facing Jinder Mahal in New Delhi for their big event on December 9th.
But only if people want it.
Yeah, and he...
the 5 million or billion people in India are going to want it.
They'll find a way.
Yeah.
They'll hijack somebody else's Wi-Fi if they got to. They'll get the response to them.
It's their show.
Yeah, it's done for them.
Yeah, they can put up whatever percentage they want on Monday night. It's not like they haven't done it before.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so your choice for the evening is a cage match, a bull rope strap match,
or a dance
or a dance off. And what wins every time?
The dance off.
Damn it! Yes. Yes.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our first break of the evening, and when we come back, we will have Big Stuff Industries right here, well, on the air anyway. Mr. Big Stuff himself, the UCW Heavyweight Champion, and his manager, KR Superstar, will be joining us in just a few moments. Stick with us, folks. We'll be right back after this.
So do you call him Mr. KR or Mr. Superstar?
For this, Mr.
Booster Sheet.
Booster. I'm glad you're going at this.
What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
If you really want to get raw on Monday nights, tune into the Beyond Ringside Radio Network at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central Time for the Midnight Black Mass Podcast. Myself, the Reverend Dan the Dragon Wilson, along with the Strong Style Psycho Tank and Andrew Alexander, bring you a truly blood-curdling experience. Uncensored, uncut, and only on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clive Braddock, and the Magic City Motor Fast Eddie Lane as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Howdy, friends. It's the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Lane with your invitation to join me, Mark Mabo Bowman, And Brooks Logan, Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Find us on BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, and the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, BlackBerry, and a whole lot more. Once again, that's Sundays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
All right, welcome back to Corner Wrestling Radio, right here on the Beyond Ringside Wrestling Network, Wrestling Radio Network, BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, on demand on Spreaker.com and iTunes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined, by Big Stuff Industries, the UCW Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Big Stuff, Billy Woody, and
your friend,
my close personal confidant, KR Superstar.
The best
Gentlemen,
friend that Stan ever had.
welcome to the show, guys.
Fake news right out of the gate. I'd never be friends with a bum like you, Grubworm.
I like to think we could be at least associates.
why can't we?
And that's why you're paid to sit behind a keyboard or a Skype camera or whatever you're doing. It's not paid to be thinking. So let's pay to listen a little bit. What KR Superstar is trying so nicely to tell you, don't wow, it's not commentary. Shut your mouth, open your ears. What KR Superstar is saying is just like everybody else that we've been saying for such a long time. They say, well, Mr. Big Stuff, why are you doing this? Mr. Big Stuff, why are you doing that? It's not why, it's because I can. There's a reason I'm the UCW Heavyweight Champion. That's because it was there to be taken. And where all these other people in the UCW roster play at being wrestlers, this is what I do. I wrestle. I said it on the last time we were in Sterling, Virginia. I'll prove it again. We're in Winchester on November 25th. People say, well, Big Stuff, you don't move so fast. Mr. Big Stuff, you don't do this, you don't do that. I don't move fast because I don't have to move for anybody. And if you think you're able to move me, along with buying your ticket or whatever else you need to do, don't be keyboard brave. Come out the 25th, and then I'll show you why they really call me Big Stuff. Now let's get on with this because, like I said, while everybody else is saying, oh, we can do this, I'm a businessman, I'm telling you, Stan Grubb, I'm telling you, Brian Taylor, and I'm telling everybody else, I am a business man, and if you don't understand it, think about it, you'll catch up.
Well, let's go right after it then.
Carry the one.
The Battle Royal comes in, and it's you, it's Tremor, and you guys are against the world. You come away with that title. Had to feel good to have that title one more time.
Feelings has nothing to do with it. If I wanted a championship belt, I go to the closet and I pay that I retired. If I need a new championship belt, I call Reggie Parks. I get one made. It's not about belts. It's about setting precedent. I know it's a big word for you, but you're sitting there, look it up, Google it, whatever you need to do. Here's the difference. And I said it as simple as I can say it, so I'm going to try one more time. People who call themselves wrestlers, I don't care what promotion you look at, they spend more time talking about, I need to get my shine. I need to get my shine. The next person I hear say, I need to get my shine, I'm going to get them an application of Molly Maid and a can of Pledge, and they can shine all they want. Here's the difference between playing wrestling and being a wrestler. I approach this as a business because that's what it is. It is a business. And if you don't want to be the very top of the business, if you don't want to be the best podcast, regardless of the genre, then turn off your computer, turn off your camera, go and get involved in something else. If you don't be the very best, don't do it. When I tell you, when we, the members of Big Stuff Industries, get up in the morning, when I tell you that KR Superstar, legitimately, this is a shoot, legitimately walks out of his house and looks over $3 million worth of automobiles, that's a shoot because it's real. When I tell you that the bull, Danny Whalen, that's right, my personal spiritual advisor, works day in and day out and does not talk to anybody unless $1 million deal is on the table, that's a shoot. It's legitimate. It's a business. And when I tell you that I live down a long private drive in a big 5-bedroom house with a pretty wife inside and a long line of women just hoping she lives a little bit left over, that's a shoot. When I tell you last Friday I was sitting with Charles Barkley eating breakfast, that's a shoot. I tell you to do your homework, do your homework. The difference between them is they play. The difference between us is we do what we say, then we go out and do what we said they were going to do, and then ultimately we make sure it stays done. Because, see, when you're part of Big Stuff Industries, championships, they come and go. Championships is just like a trophy. It's just like a plaything. Every day I wake up, I'm a champion. And they do what's necessary for me, and I do what's necessary for them. So like you, Stan Grubbs, like you, Brian Taylor, and like all these little smart people who show up at these shows on one side of the barrier and the other, for you, I recommend to not let the necessary begin. Don't never ask me a stupid question like you just asked me what it's like to be a champion again. I'm a champion every day of my life.
Except I have to point out how the night began, where you and Tremor were unsuccessful in wresting the tag team championships from Noise Pollution. Might I point out, one half of Noise Pollution. I mean,
let's see. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. You have somebody who shouldn't be allowed in the building, who obviously was feigning an injury because they did not want to get in the ring with us. And a matter of fact, the only reason that they asked, let alone, I remind you again, asked to get into the ring with us is to raise their celebrity. See, here's the difference. The biggest opportunity they ever had was to come into the locker room at Ultimate Championship Wrestling and ask me for a photograph. When I tell you that from Luthez to Dan the Beast Severn to the Honky Tonk Man to Ricky Morton to Fatty McNasty to Lord Everett DeVore to Diego De La Rosa to Chief Wahoo McDaniels to Mr. Big Stuff, see, I have been in the ring with each and every one of those gentlemen. I have competed with the very best of the best. And the closest they've ever been is to watch it on videotape or reruns on YouTube. That's what set us apart. I'm no stepping stone. They need me to raise their visibility. I need them just to move out of the way. Because if you're not an asset, as Max Morrison saw, you're a liability. And I showed him that the hard way.
Mike, drop.
But there again, I have to point this out, Champ, that you guys had an opportunity to take all the gold with the exception of the TV title, and I assume it's only a matter of time before that actually gets in your sight. KR, I know that this is it's a tough question for you guys to answer because it bothers you. How did you, is the better question, how did you reorganize the focus and get everybody back on track for the Battle Royal after a setback with the Tag Team Championship?
Look, let me explain it to you. I explained it to you 2 weeks ago. Obviously, you didn't listen to the tape, or else you'd know the answer to this stupid question. But for the people just tuning in at home who didn't listen to it 2 weeks ago, I'm going to explain it one more time. The whole night was mapped out. I knew exactly what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. And the fact of the matter is this, all right? I knew that Max Morrison couldn't wrestle, all right? I knew that he was faking it. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to just sit around and drink beer and run his mouth. And, all of these marks for Noise Pollution on social media are saying, oh, you shouldn't talk bad about Max Morrison. You shouldn't say anything about him. He's got a great beard and all that stuff. Nonsense. I've done my homework. All right? Mr. Big Stuff just told you, do your homework. All right? You need to do your homework. If you'd have done your homework, you'd be working at Big Stuff Industries making 7 figures instead of being in your mom's basement running a stupid podcast. All right? You're lucky we're even on here to begin with. Bottom line, I knew what was going to happen. I planned it all out, and we ended up walking away with the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. How much more of a success could we be? All right? We've got the ultimate prize in professional wrestling. All right? Mr. Big Stuff is the #1 wrestler in the world, on the globe. What's better than that? It's an overwhelming success in October, okay? An overwhelming success. You can't deny it. No one else can deny it, even though people run their mouth on social media but never show up to the event, never try to come to the other side of the barricade. And here we are with the 10 pounds of gold talking to you, having to explain the whole thing yet again because you don't get it, Stan Grubb. Figure it out. Figure it out. Listen to me. Listen to Mr. Big Stuff. Follow our example, and you may get a home of your own one day. All right? Think about that.
Couple things. It's internet radio. I know it's a tough concept for you because you're kind of stuck with the flip phone. That's all right. We're going to move it a little forward. I know that you guys get frustrated with me asking you these questions because, hey, questions are hard to answer. I understand that.
The same question.
There's a difference between frustration and stupidity. So I'm going to give you a break for a minute, Stan Grubb. Brian Taylor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How long have you known me, Brian Taylor? 15, 20 years?
On 17, 18 years probably.
All right. From those days, 17, 18 years ago to today, has anything that I've ever said, done, showed, acted, changed?
No, sir.
Am I the most transparent person that you've ever met in professional wrestling?
You are, without a doubt, the greatest guy in professional wrestling that I have ever
I don't need no backhanded compliment. I need you to try to smarten up your friend there. So here's what I'm telling you, Stan Grubb. I want you to think before you answer because just like all these other people who are listening, you know for a fact I want to see you November 25th in Winchester. Do you really think in your heart of hearts, in your little bitty mind, you need to take insurance out with Geico or something to smarten up because whatever's wrong with you is no small thing? Do you really think if I wanted the end game to be the tag team championships, I would not be talking to you as the UCW tag team champion? Here's what I'm going to tell you. If noise pollution wants, and I don't want any excuses, I want Max Morrison to go through physical therapy. I want him to get as healthy as he can be, as strong as he can be. I want him to be the best wrestling shape, the best mental shape, the best shape that he's been in his entire career, in his entire adult life. And then I want him to come and put up those titles. And let's see what the outcome would be. I'll give you one better. You heard KR Superstar say it time and time and time again. I'm not hard to find. I don't move fast because I don't have to move for anybody. I am the UCW World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. You name the promotion, you have unlimited resources there to communicate with the entire world. You call any champion, any challenger from any promotion, and I will take them on one-on-one. If you want to talk about Cody Rhodes, well, while Cody was a little bitty Cody, I was in his dad's book, and Dusty Rhodes and the Woody Boys were selling out arenas while people like you were reading about them. If you think MMA fighters are the toughest people, I told you before, I'll say it again. I faced Dan the Beast Severin. God bless his soul, Lou Thez. He's no longer with us. I've been in the ring with Thez. I've been in the ring with Wahoo McDaniels. I've been in the ring with WWE Hall of Famers. And most of these people still stand in line in conventions just to get autographs from the ones who are still with us. That's the difference, Stan Grubb. I want you to think about the questions you ask. There's some people who pretend to be wrestlers. I don't pretend to anything. I am a professional. If I'm a professional wrestler, I'm the best professional wrestler. It goes without saying. I have the UCW Heavyweight Champion. Also, I diversify. Wrestling is not the only thing I do. You want to go dig a little dirt, type in my name into Google. Type in the name in databases and research. You'll find out anything I'm associated with, I'm successful with. And Stan Grubb, if you have more questions, instead of being one of those keyboard trolls, come to me, do a face-to-face interview. Not only will you have a whole new respect, you'll have a whole new outlook on Big Stuff Industries, Ultimate Championship Wrestling, KR Superstar, and any other thing that you want to be enlightened with, I can enlighten you. Go ahead with your next question.
Actually, do me a favor if I could. Eddie Lane over here. I have a question for both of you. In your honest opinion, the percentage of wrestling fans who should not have internet access at any time. Big stuff?
Every one of them.
KR?
Because they're so busy sitting behind a keyboard that they don't have to have the ability to interact, to have human contact, to be able to make judgments without sitting at a stoplight and go, oh, there's XYZ restaurant on my left. There's XYZ restaurant on my right. Which one should I have to? Should I have chicken McNuggets or should I have Wendy's McNuggets? They can't even function and have an original thought without having to get their friends, their likes, or whatever they do. If you see I'm not on social media, you want to find out about me, you come look me in the eye. You be a man. You come face to face with me. You have a question, I'll answer your question. Just be prepared for the answer. Is that good enough reason, Mr. Lane?
Yeah, that works for me. KR, your answer.
And I agree 100%. You know, you've got a lot of folks out there who get their brain poisoned by the internet because they're borderline disabled like Stan Grubb. And, you know, I look at noise pollution as being those guys. Those are guys that everybody knows can fight, they can wrestle, but the internet and that whole culture, it's sapped all of their creative energy, all of their motivation, all of their dedication, all of their commitment. They're bums that just want to sit around and drink beer, and they don't want to work. And that's the problem. That's the problem with them and most of the people out there. The people that aren't like that, they end up getting 7-figure jobs with Big Stuff Industries, because that's what we're looking for. People who have critical thinking skills, who can work hard and aren't poisoned by that nonsense on the internet.
Stan?
So let's shift gears. Let's look at
Stan Slam is in full swing tonight.
I know,
and people are already on their other fifth of liquor by now.
Yeah, by now they need Alcoholics Anonymous.
Actually close, because portions of tonight's show brought to you by Crown Royal Salted Caramel.
Oh, great. So let's switch gears. All right, November 25th, there's going to be a new number one contender. A lot of conversation going on right now for Papa Stro and the curse that he's placed on UCW. I got to know, guys, how do you feel about the curse that's on UCW?
You know, I'm not into all that hocus pocus, but I will tell you this. Stro is a formidable opponent in any circumstance. And, you know, the mumbo jumbo, I think that's all a smoke screen. We're not concerned with anything that's not tangible at Big Stuff Industries. But Stro, just based on his ability and experience, is a man that we need to take seriously. This battle royal that's coming up, I'm excited because I'm going to watch a bunch of people fight each other for the right to get beat up by Mr. Big Stuff. And so that's going to be exciting to watch.
Champ,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now.
Sure.
Don't you think it's always funny that when an individual, doesn't matter man or woman, doesn't matter race, color, creed, when an individual no longer has what they call a so-called friend or family, that they always find one thing to hold on to. They become born again. They discover their passion for skydiving. Well, for poor old Papa Stro, his one and only is a doll. And it's an ugly doll at that. And you're telling me, and I want you to look over Stro. Stro's not a ham and egger. Stro's not a fly-by-night guy. Stro, legitimate, UWFI, Japanese top contender. Stro, WCW, big money contract. Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So he's not a pretend guy, and I don't know what happened with all the adversity in and out of the ring, in front of the camera and behind the scenes. But you took an individual who had unlimited potential, a true journeyman wrestler, a true world traveler, and now he's sitting in his grandma's shawl playing with a doll. He was this close. You don't talk until I'm finished.
Yes, sir.
He was this close to maybe being the number one contender. And he was easily distracted. Now, Granted, it was a brilliant, brilliant move by KR Superstar.
That's right.
To do the distracting. But that just shows you he's more focused on inanimate objects. He's more focused on a baby stroller with a plastic doll than being the best. And when you no longer be, wanting to the desire to be number one, then that just means you're all number two. So that's what I think of the Stro.
And
if you want to play with toys, you can get a job at Toys R Us. It's the holiday time.
Hey, and Stan, you know what happens to number two, right? You flush it right down the toilet.
Then do me a favor. Allow me to ask this question, because knowing Stro's reputation the way I do, and knowing his background and your background to a great degree, wouldn't it have been more beneficial for you personally to face a Stro who had not been distracted or had a reason to become a little bit more irate on a situation, thinking retaliation for something going on?
Now, this is what you're thinking like an individual who's never been there. Now I am the undisputed World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion for this sanctioning body we work for. True or not true?
You are true.
This now means I have to be beat.
Correct.
I don't have to beat anyone, correct?
Correct.
So who's the smart one? While at the beginning of the night for, PN News or Happy 123 or whatever his name was, he was just an unfortunate victim. He was a rather big pawn in a long-term game. For noise pollution, that was just a distraction. When people thought that I was really enraged by Max Morrison and his partner Stretch Armstrong, I'm sorry I don't remember your name, my friend, but that's just how relevant you are to me. You're lucky I remember the name of the tag team. Again, everybody thought that was our main focus. And then I had Stro, journeyman wrestler. Was he enraged? No, he was more worried about a doll sitting in a baby carriage than being the champion. Now look who's the champion. And it's just like anything else. I don't have to beat you. You have to beat me. When he wakes up in the morning and he rolls out of bed, he has to make a conscious effort, a solid decision. Do I really want to do what it takes to be a champion? See, people say, oh, you talk a lot, Mr. Big Stuff. Well, I can back up a lot, too. That's the difference. And if you have those thoughts going through your mind, you've already been beaten and you haven't left your front door, much less stepped into the ring. And that goes for anybody on the roster. I don't care if it's Ethan Cross. I have no issue with Ethan Cross. I have nothing for Ethan Cross. Be a good TV champion. Stay TV champion. You don't want to come in my world. Humphrey J. DuPont IV and I have more history than probably anyone in that locker room. Take care of the DuPont family, and I'll take care of me. Fatty McNasty, most beloved individual, that if there was ever a goodwill ambassador for professional wrestling, it's Fatty McNasty. But there's a reason why Fatty McNasty has been dodging me.
I mean, he did.
And it's not because I moved fast.
In a corner.
Again, are you talking about an instance or an end game? Well, don't worry about it. Well, it's like this. You pick your battles so you can win your war. Right now, you better pick your words so you can finish this interview.
Here's the thing. With your manager, KR Superstar, you talked earlier about liabilities. Isn't the fact that KR manages to be victimized, whether it's at the hands of the Stro with the Come to Papa, or the stink face in the corner from Fatty McNasty, doesn't that make him a liability for you as champion?
Doesn't that mean that he's the biggest asset that I can have when all 140 pounds are twisted? Let me finish. Now that's your number two. If we get to number three, come the 25th, we're not going to worry about number one contenders. I'm going to do my business before the doors even open. So that's your second chance. Now, you've heard of trickle-down economics? Let's talk about trickle-down professional wrestling. When you have a man who is outweighed by 350 pounds, go in there and throw himself on the line, mind, body, and soul, and not run. You don't think he can outrun Fatty McNasty? You don't think he can outrun the Stro? No, he's a man who stood there and fought. Right? And what's the end game? He has a world heavyweight wrestling champion in his stable. That's the difference. That's the difference between an asset and liability. You've heard KR Superstar. Do you not think he's a learned man? Do you think that he can't put a tangible sentence or a tangible thought together? While most people are trying to find out or remember or look up the word he says, he's on to the next statement. He's on to the next subject. An asset and a liability is how you determine it. Let me ask you a question, Stan Grubbs. You sound like a drinker, so let me ask you this. What do you determine to be of value? If you were standing in the desert and I laid $100 million at your feet, a dictionary, or a glass of water, and you haven't drank anything in 7 days, what's most valuable to you?
I believe I'm going to take the $100 million, sir.
And then you would be dead because you haven't had anything to drink. That's the difference.
Champ?
You think about the short-term game instead of the long-term goal.
Champ?
Here's where KR Superstar is. If you say champ one more time, that's the long-term goal. You let us worry about what's a liability. You let us worry about what's an asset.
Actually, champ, that wasn't me that said champ before. That was actually Eddie.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We'll smack Eddie Lane too. Look, act right or get smacked right. Everybody knows that the core tenet of Big Stuff Industries, it doesn't matter which one of you is interrupting. So get it right.
Yes, sir.
Now, KR, do me a favor. You're going to want to hear this for a hot second. Champ, with all due respect.
Yep.
On behalf of Rob and Brian, we do have to apologize for Stan every once in a while. Wow. Because if he doesn't genuinely understand the fact that KR is willing to put his body on the line in order for you to succeed.
And have seizures and dance-offs.
And he creates the fact that he is an asset. That is a mutually beneficial relationship. Sometimes Stan doesn't quite get that. But
no. Eddie, make no mistake. Gentlemen, make no mistake. I recognize fully that KR Superstar is an ass.
Asset.
Hey, look here. One more time, and I'm going to go upside that bald head myself. All right?
You can't reach my bald head.
I can reach because you're 5'7" and I'm 5'8.5". Everybody knows it. And when I go upside your head, you, my friend, are going to be going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I got beat up by a manager." That's right. You will get beat up by a manager.
If he keeps wearing this T-shirt, he's going to pass out, so he's going to be easy to catch.
Yep.
25th, I'm going to take that Garanimals T-shirt off of you, and I'm going to smack you around and let everybody look at your gelatinous body. And then they're going to say, "Oh my God, I have no idea how this hermaphrodite got in the building." And you say, "Look, he's got a beard. He's supposedly a guy." And I'm going to say, "Stan Grubb, you, my friend, are going to get embarrassed by everybody. Call me an ass one more time, and it's going to happen. You'll be the first guy to get beat up by a manager. It's going to happen."
You know, and I'm going to take it one step further than that. Everybody knows you're follically challenged. You're a practicing Homo sapien. The thing that you got to remember, look it up. It'll be okay. You'll get over it in a month or two. Come November 25th. Brian Taylor, I want you to take over because I'm tired of Stan Grubb.
Oh, wow.
I want you to think about what's going on as far as the roster. We'll play word association. You know the card, whatever, UCW management. I mean, I find out who I'm wrestling when I get there, like it makes a difference. Let's play word association. In UCW, outside of UCW, former wrestler, current wrestler, should have never been a wrestler. Let's go ahead. Let's play that game.
Let's go with Fatty McNasty. Let's start right at the top.
As far as wrestler, you stick with what you're good to. He's good out there being a dancing monkey. Like I said, legitimately, personally, I have no feeling or ill will against him either way. Great goodwill ambassador for wrestling. Childlike mentality at best. He's another guy who thinks he's smart. He's only smart to the 3 or 4 people that find him funny.
All right, Stinkface.
That's a person?
Yes.
Okay, Stinkface as a person.
He's out of Mexico.
Okay. You have to worry about a whole culture that's so embarrassed with what they do that they put masks over their face. So probably not only Stinkface is his name, probably Stinkface is the way of life, and there's a reason he's wearing a mask. Next person.
Let's go with next in line would be Ethan Cross.
Like I said, good solid wrestler, part of the DuPont family. Humphrey J. DuPont IV would not have him as part of the DuPont family if he was not a phenomenal athlete, a phenomenal person. I've worked with Ethan Cross in the ring, outside of the ring, a solid, capable guy, but he's no world champion.
Hiro Morimoto.
Another guy that spends more time on his makeup than he does his maneuvers. Sometimes I wonder if the mist that comes out of his mouth is something that's prepared or just straight out halitosis. Give him 10, 15, 20 years, and, he might know the difference between a wrist lock and a wristwatch.
All right, so I got time for one more, champ.
I want to add in something on that. Mr. Big Stuff is right, as usual. Morimoto, if he got the proper training and guidance, I feel like that guy could go places. That's just my opinion, but.
All right, so we got time for one more, and this will put to both of you. Everett DeVore.
There's a guy who used to have it, realized he didn't have it anymore, and there's a reason he's behind the curtain and not still in the ring. So let's talk about his career. For people who don't know, Lord Everett DeVore, legitimate, solid, amazing worker. You look it up, WCW Nitro, Lord Everett DeVore wrestled Hall and Nash on WCW Nitro, the hottest program in wrestling for when he appeared. Every territory he went to, champion. But that's the past. Now we're talking about the present. The present it's funny how time changes and skews views of everything. So now what he used to do, he finds offensive. What he can no longer do, he tries to manipulate. He thinks that on paper, head of UCW. There's no question about that. The Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation within the state of Virginia at least recognizes it, and he thinks he knows how to push buttons. Lord Everett DeVore, this question goes straight to you. Anybody can pull the trigger, but do you really know what it's like to pull the strings? That's what I'll leave you with on Lord Everett DeVore.
KR, as we close off and head off for the sunset for this here interview, it's your turn. Lord Everett DeVore.
Well, I will add to that. His history as a wrestler is very noteworthy, as Mr. Big Stuff said. His track record as a manager is less than stellar. I will and have give him the utmost credit for amassing a talent pool that is better than any organization out there. I will give him begrudging credit for that. Other than that, we're playing chess at Big Stuff Industries. Lord Everett DeVore, he's not even playing checkers. He's playing Connect Four. All right? So, that shows the absolute gigantic gap between his strategic thinking and ours. He's a third grader when it comes to this type of stuff. That's why we're going to own UCW here before it's all said and done, probably in the next 3 to 6 months. We'll be able to wrest it away from him because he's a rotten manager and a horrible businessman and not very bright. So there's my mixed review on Lord Egghead Devoron.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The UCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Big Stuff Billy Woody, and the manager himself, KR Superstar, Big Stuff Industries. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We will see you on November 25th.
Pleasure's all yours.
If you're lucky.
Thanks again, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Yep.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Big Stuff, KR Superstar, two of the top talents there in UCW. Amazing to hear from Mr. Big Stuff, as he is definitely unafraid of any challenge that is coming his way, regardless of what he may say to me or how he says it. You cannot deny that he is indeed the UCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Is this one of those situations that while he talks, you're not talking, but when he's gone, you be talking?
He got mind control over Debo.
That's what it looks like.
Mr. Big Stuff. Is that what this is?
That's not what I was going to say. I mean,
he's now Mr. Big Stuff and KR's not on the radio.
I mean,
he got a case of the talk.
You know, we should take a short break and iron this out.
You know what?
I mean, earlier he got a case of the shutty shuts.
Wow. Well, with that, let's just keep the shutty shut going and take a breaky break. We'll be right back.
We got to take a break because Stan can change his shirt and breathe.
I need some ice and another beer. Stick with us.
It's on there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Corner Wrestling Radio, and we are live right back here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com, prowrestlingradio.net, and all points in between. We're on iTunes, for crying out loud. We're on Spreaker.com. If you know where to find the show, you'll find Corner to Corner. Once again, thank you to UCW World Heavyweight Champion Mr. Big Stuff Billy Woody and KR Superstar for their time this evening. November 25th, ladies and gentlemen, Eventbrite.com. Get your tickets to Ultimate Collision now. Winchester, Virginia, in the
Body Renew Fitness and Sports Center.
Thank you.
From the Golden Pipes himself.
That's right. The Golden Pipes of UCW.
The UCW Golden Pipes.
So let's talk about some stuff.
Well, real quick. I want to know if you're on their payroll.
Whose payroll?
Like, do you have a mail job down there in
BSI?
Yeah.
I mean,
because this is the third time we've had KR on.
All I can say is for all the jokes and the comments they put
all I can
down,
say is when he's not talking, I be talking.
When he says, shut up, I shut up.
When the hand goes up,
my mouth goes shut.
Yeah, because he knows if Stan don't shut up, paycheck go down.
Yeah, that's true. And I need my money. I mean, there's a lot of things in this world that I don't need, but I need money. So,
what a bunch of likable fellas, though.
Wait, you know what?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
I mean,
you do it.
He is an ass.
Set.
Sorry, no, he's an asset. Really, he is an ass hat. Ass hat. Sorry.
He can probably still smack you at 5.5.
He can't reach it.
In the boosters game.
Oh, look who decided to join us. Hi, Brian.
Hey. They can't get him down.
How do you know they're not listening?
They might be. But he got a long driveway, remember?
All right.
Big Stuff got a long driveway.
Look,
all right, let's
I know
move
it's
on.
not your favorite, but we got to get to the machine.
The machine. All right, let's.
This past
Survivor
Tuesday night.
Oh, yes.
SmackDown Live. A wrong has been corrected. The experiment of Jinder Mahal, the modern-day Maharaja, is on.
Well, there is a return match.
Jay
somewhere
Styles.
down.
He can return on back to his and stay out of my ring.
Coincidentally, there is a match coming up in India. If the fans wanted between one Triple H and
like
one
the Cyber
Jinder
Sunday
Mahal.
votes.
Right. So what better way to have that match than to have that for the SmackDown title?
I think I think one of the things that makes this important, let's be honest, it's Survivor Series time. One of the big four, right? Are you tuning in to see Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal, and the people said, hell no? Or are you going to tune in to see Brock Lesnar versus AJ freaking Styles?
Honestly, I'm not turning in for that match.
You don't think it's going to be a good match?
No.
Do you think Brock's going to squash him?
I think Brock's probably going to squash him.
Oh, no.
Now, don't get me wrong. If the machine wants to do it right, they will have AJ beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, my God.
That place would go nuts.
It goes banana!
The world would be right, you know what I'm saying? And then he could move on to Shinsuke. Yeah. However, again, with the Lumen Tour in India coming up again, what better way to get the title back on Jinder than to have Brock destroy AJ, and then Tuesday night Jinder asks for his return match, gets the return match, wins the title back, goes on to India and wins November?
December 9th he's facing Triple H.
December 9th in India. Why not put the title right back on him? Damn. And you can do it by having Brock squash AJ and have AJ just too beat up to really give it a go.
I hate you right now. I hate you so much. Because somehow, it happens all the time. All the time. Everything that gets said on corner to corner, the machine picks up on it and perverts it and twists it into this horrible, convoluted mess.
Don't get me wrong. The biggest shock of the year, probably in several years, would be AJ beating Brock Lesnar. Remember Jericho beats Triple H?
Huge.
Remember?
We flew off the couch.
Literally touching the ceiling.
We were jumping. It was ridiculous.
Right. It was crazy. One of the biggest surprises I can remember.
Yes.
Bam! AJ beats Brock. I would probably hit the ceiling again. Do you think it's going to happen based off of the clogs in the machine? No.
AJ Styles, new world champion, WWE world champ, beats Jinder Mahal.
Thank God.
Brock versus AJ.
See, I'm at it from a whole different aspect of why. Why? Again, WWE's wasting a pay-per-view to put people in a champion versus champion when you know nothing, no titles changing hands. They're not going to make the Usos and, they're not going to unite titles. So, what's the point? I mean, ultimate bragging rights, I get it. But when you could still have a jam-packed card, one of your big four Survivor Series, the one that they're all together, you could have AJ versus, somebody to continue a storyline, to continue things. But no. You could still do the Team Blue, Team Red. You could still do that. But then you could have Natty versus, Becky.
Right.
And then still have Team Red, Team Blue in a female match.
But my thing is you can see Natty versus Becky on a SmackDown pay-per-view.
True.
I want to see one where they go at it. That's just me personally. I'll shut up, Rob. I've had alcohol, and apparently I'm a little
Chatty Cathy.
But do I want to see Brock versus AJ to answer your question? Sorry to interrupt you and cut you off. But, I mean, I think it'd be a great thing, like you all said. I think it'd be awesome to see AJ go over Brock. Because I think AJ could just out-wrestle Brock. Brock's got 5 moves. Punch, kick, suplex.
Another suplex. Belly to back suplex.
The German. The belly to back, the overhead belly to belly.
You got that, but if you did AJ, it would be awesome.
The things that
and that would set up a WrestleMania moment. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Well, but the thing that stands out for Survivor Series now, unfortunately, with the way they built up Team Red versus Team Blue, with Team Blue being dominant in the build-up, Team Red wins on Sunday.
Oh, that does. Well, yeah, but now Cena is also blue. I think Cena is going to be Double agent.
Oh no! Well, you know what? They haven't done that in a little while.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Cena
how crazy would that be?
Cena was on
Raw just recently.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is one way that you could effectively
turn him heel
on SmackDown and then face on Raw.
Oh my God, that'd
much
be so
like
crazy.
Bret Hart. Remember, Bret Hart was the biggest face in the world in Canada, but when he wrestled in the States, he was the biggest heel.
That's nuts.
You could do it on the show.
That's crazy to me. My mind is like blown right now. That's nuts.
It's nuts, but that's why it would be. That's why it would be great
money. You print money on that turn right there.
Because again, to me, SmackDown doesn't have that 5-star heel.
Very true.
Baron Corbin.
He's not getting that job done.
Who else?
It was Jinder.
Okay,
Jinder wasn't doing it.
All right, so and again, Jinder's not that 5-star heel.
No. I mean,
don't get me wrong, he's okay, serviceable.
Yeah, but
he's
definitely
not the 5-star. Now you bring in AJ Styles, John Cena.
Could you turn Shinsuke?
Not until WrestleMania.
Would you turn Shinsuke? Is the question.
I would turn AJ first.
Yeah, but I think with AJ, because it's been done, and he's in that rarefied air with no matter whether he's heel or face, everybody cheers him.
Well, I think Shinsuke would be the same way.
Yeah,
and I think when you turn Shinsuke, it's when he's teaming with AJ, and you have him turn and go with the club or something. Just totally then have the club versus AJ. You know what I mean?
I would like to see something different like that. I mean, I think it would be very cool. I like the champion.
Carry on.
I like the champion versus champion matches.
That would be fantastic.
Where we have Charlotte versus, or not Charlotte, but Alexa versus Natty.
That should be good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup. I think the Usos versus the Bar will be good. I'm a little confused as to why they took the titles off of the Shield so close, but I guess it's to keep them on the main squad. Eddie, what was your thoughts from AJ winning the title and now as we head to Survivor Series?
So far, AJ with the belt, good idea. I think it adds a lot more validity. It's more of a 5-star draw to the ticket buying public to see if we can actually get a full house for Survivor Series. From there, Paul Heyman referred to Jinder Mahal as the consolation prize champion. That did more damage than any of Jinder Mahal's promos could do to himself. And creative actually probably realized, oh my God, he's right. So now you have the IWC Dream Match Part 2 with AJ versus Brock. You gave him AJ versus Finn last month, which there can be such a thing as too many dreams come true. But as far as it goes headed for Survivor Series, I'm curious. They've got the Cruiserweight title, which should be, considering who's involved in it, that should be pre-show. I'm sorry, and for anybody who says otherwise, I will ask what you're smoking. Because Enzo Kalisto should not be main show. That should be pre-show. If you want to do you've got the roster to do it, a 205 Live Survivor Series match, great idea.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or better yet, cancel the title match and have Team Kalisto and Team Enzo.
Wasn't that what they were supposed to be doing,
Yep.
and then they changed it?
And they screwed it up.
That's so stupid.
Probably.
I want to see the numbers on what Enzo's merchandise and what he generates as far as sales, because
I would like to see the actual numbers on all of them.
Because you can't, because half of them don't have T-shirts or merch. That's the problem.
Well, correct, but I would like to know.
T-shirts.
I would still like to know how Roman Reigns is supposedly number 2.
I would like to see all. Yeah, as
when
far as
there's
that
no
chart,
Roman Reigns shirt in the audience,
and there hasn't been for a while.
Right.
I will say this to that point: the reaction for him when he comes back this Monday should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he comes back, they say he is, but I haven't seen any confirmation from WWE. No. Yes, they did. They confirmed it last Monday. I take that back.
They confirmed it on SmackDown too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, I'd be interested to see how that happens, because now you've got your complete Shield reunion after TLC, after Triple H does a guest spot, and after
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. Samoa Joe, the best heel on Raw, in my opinion, does a guest spot on the Shield. What the hell? I mean, come on, man.
No different.
I like the Shield. I love that the whole deal. But
Kurt
Samoa
Angle?
Joe, leave him a bad guy. I'm a huge fan of Samoa Joe as a bad guy. I like him being the destroyer where he just takes everybody apart.
Kurt Angle did it. Triple H has done it. Remember Glasgow, Scotland?
Yeah. I mean, and Triple H, he can go heel or face anytime he wants. I don't think anybody really cares anymore. He's like Ric Flair. He comes out, everybody cheers.
Triple H?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me, for Triple H, it would kind of be cool to see him back almost on a full time.
Yeah.
I did kind of like the couple matches a year. I don't know if I'm ready for him to come back in more of a... I mean, he is starting to pick up momentum as far as...
It's coming up on that road to WrestleMania time where
Is that what it
Triple H
is?
starts getting ready.
They're just getting ready early.
Yeah, and I think he misses it genuinely.
I'm sure
I think he has done so much in the office and proven that he can do that, but he also knows that he's not done in the ring. He's in phenomenal shape. He's still able to go with all of them. Mm-hmm. He could go with Samoa Joe. He could go with Seth Rollins. He could go with Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles. I promise you,
why?
Those matches would be amazing.
You know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't ... dive.
Don't! Damn it, Randy Orton.
Look at Daniel. Look at Daniel Bryan.
I know, because we'll really touch on most of this next Sunday. What about NXT?
Here's
TakeOver.
TakeOver is coming up, and we haven't talked about a lot of it, but War Games is coming back. You got your wish. War Games is here.
Hallelujah.
3 teams.
Yeah.
Except here's the thing, they've changed it a little bit.
A lot?
Yeah, it's
3 teams.
It's 3 teams, but they're in like a pod.
It's a
Kinda
trios
like
match.
What's that?
It's a trios match.
It is a trios match. The coin toss, the time limit for each person to come in, that's still there in essence, but they're in like this pod, like in the Elimination Chamber. When a time comes up, door opens and somebody comes out. So if I understand it, it doesn't matter who comes out, just someone from the team. Which I'm okay with. I don't really care. I can't wait to see this matchup. We probably won't see it until maybe Monday night. If we're not totally spent from Saturday night, maybe we'll see it when we get back.
Well, if somebody brings his fire stick, we might get lucky.
Bring that fire stick, yo. But, I mean, this event, TakeOver, for all intents and purposes, every time they do a big pay-per-view, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, NXT TakeOver beats it. Hand over fist. Just easily, they don't even have to try hard.
And to me, in the past, they've had a stellar lineup for NXT.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't... Redragon.
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
Red Dragon.
Is it Red Dragon?
It is Red Dragon.
Okay. I never can keep it
I
straight.
always heard it as Redragon.
I've heard them say
Orion
Red Dragon.
Fish.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I don't even... The Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Which is a cool name, I think. Sanity.
Yeah.
The Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong.
Yeah, again, I think
How'd
Roderick
that
Strong
happen?
is the ringer in this.
He's your double agent.
Yeah, exactly. That, I think, is the deal. And I can't wait to see that matchup. I could care less what happens with all the other matches. I want to see War Games.
Yes. Just for that, because to me, that match is going to probably literally...
Who is Drew Galloway defending against? Or Drew McIntyre?
What's his name? Almas?
Oh,
that could actually be pretty damn good. Yeah.
That was not bad.
The women's title match will be decided. We've got Nikki
Fatal 4-way.
Cross, Ruby Riott, Peyton
Kyrie.
Royce, and Kairi Sane.
I imagine Kyrie walked away with it.
The Pirate Princess. Woo!
Isn't that predictable?
I never thought there'd be one that's more better looking than Asuka, but damn.
What's the more predictable winner in that match?
Oh, I think Kyrie is the predictable winner.
I think that's like the the shoe-in kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's the shoe-in.
Actually, I think it's Nikki Cross. I think it's Nikki.
That would be interesting, though.
I like Nikki Cross. I think she's a hell of a talent. I think she can mix it up better with the guys than some of the guys. That's crazy. I mean, she gets out there. She's fearless. She reminds me an awful lot of Chyna when she first started getting involved with the guys. Just unafraid and doing whatever it takes. And I think that's what the roster needs. You lost Asuka to an injury and to a call-up. You lost all of these top talents to the Revival. Team DIY is now split, so that tag team is going to be feuding when Ciampa comes back from his injury. You've got all these different moving parts right now. Mm-hmm. So your consistents have been your women's roster, regardless of who's in there, and the top tier, which is the Undisputed Era, and that War Games match with Drew McIntyre.
Let's not forget the specter that is looming by the release of one TNA superstar in James Storm.
That is a interesting thing. Storm has, he's been to NXT before. Mm-hmm. He showed up on a moment's notice the first time. It's feasible. It makes sense to me. If Roderick Strong isn't the double agent, in comes James Storm as the Undisputed Era.
Yep.
And that could very easily set up for some great matchups. Oh, my God. But here's the thing. As we head to Survivor Series, as we go through NXT and Survivor Series, coming out of that, and we do have another topic we want to talk about, do you guys think that we'll see another set of call-ups from NXT? Or we know it's probably too early, but do you think they'll do it anyway?
I don't think you can.
No.
I don't think NXT has... I think they've taken the people they want.
Right.
And for the people in it, and I'm not trying to slight anybody in NXT, but, like, where are they going to go? You bring up the Red Dragons. You bring up Adam Cole. Where are they going to go?
Yeah,
they'll get buried on the main roster.
Yep.
And that's regardless of where they go, too.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I don't know if you have the talent behind them yet. Because in the last few call-ups, they've had the talent behind them. They've had the names behind them.
And I think they took Bobby Roode too soon.
Yep.
Because there wasn't. I mean, they put all their money in Drew, whatever his name is.
Oh, McIntyre.
Yeah.
But then now, who do you have to go against him?
Right. Well,
the dancing dude with suspenders.
Well, to me though, once they figure out Roderick Strong, he could very easily be put in that position.
Cassius Ohno.
Adam Cole
could go in that position.
They've got the tools. They just don't have them in the right slot.
Eric Young could go in that position. I think that would be phenomenal, Eric Young and Drew.
Well, and Eddie just mentioned Cassius Ohno, and it's only a matter of time before he finally breaks that barrier and goes up.
Well, actually, who is he pissed off?
See, here's the thing. If you read a lot of dirt sheets, and you know that I do, unfortunately, but you know that when Cassius Ohno was in NXT the first time, when he was in FCW, I don't know what started it, but I know there was a thought process that said he was out of shape and unmotivated. Again, I don't know what started it. What's that?
Hello, Kevin Steen.
That's a good point. We'll get to that in a moment.
Hello, Samoa Joe.
But we get into a situation where he was getting ready to work an angle with William Regal. William Regal loves Cassius Ohno and was one of the supporters for bringing him in, not just the first time, but this most recent time as well. So here's what we see. We see Ohno saying, you know what? I don't need to stay anymore. I'm done here. He goes back to the Indies, becomes one of the top names on the independent wrestling, comes back to NXT as now NXT, quote-unquote, needs him. And, oh, by the way, as Eddie points out, you got Kevin Steen and Samoa Joe who, maybe they don't seem like they're in the best of shape, but they're two of the best performers to ever put on a pair of boots. Now we're going to give him a shot. I think Cassius Ohno is at that level now where he's finally ready to take that step. But to Eddie's point, who did this guy piss off to get shifted back down the ladder? Because he just got out of the title match.
If we ain't figured nothing out, they have this weird way where they think what they do is right.
Yeah, very true.
And a lot of times to us it makes no sense.
Welcome to the machine, as you said.
Welcome to the machine, correct. So, I mean, it may be that he hadn't done nothing. It may be that whoever's, creative has just been like, well, okay, I got nothing for you.
Right.
You're sliding back down the car.
Well, once they realized that they could do, because he's doing that whole gimmick of wearing the same color shirts and tights of wherever he's at, once the T-shirt people catch on to that,
right?
Yeah,
and they start printing T-shirts for different colored T-shirts wherever he's at,
right? Yeah,
and he'll go up.
Yeah, and it's just like what Lesnar does. Suplex City, they always have the the sign and the different city on it.
Man, when I went to SmackDown the other day, I was looking for the little,
Suplex City.
I was looking for the screen printing machines outside.
I think also too, we should mention that Simon Grimm, formerly Simon Gotch, has made his ROH debut. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen results, but I believe it happened last night, if I remember right.
I haven't actually seen the results of the taping yet, but I think you might be right.
So I'm pretty sure it was last night.
So we've been looking at dirt sheets, but not those dirt sheets.
Well, I've been, for me, I've been working. I just haven't kept on.
I'm talking about
nothing.
Stan.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
The thing with Simon Grimm is I think that because of his work in NXT, he's proven he could go at a level with ROH.
Oh, yeah. And his promo is ridiculously cool.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that yet. Jeez.
Yeah, he cut this nice promo video, and it is, I mean, to me, it's kind of like the Carnies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculously cool to look at.
So let's look at, as we get ready to close the show out, we're going to spend our last segment here on a show that the whole wrestling world is talking about right now. ESPN broadcast this past Tuesday night. 30 for 30 on Ric Flair. I was very vocal about it on Twitter. I remain the same opinion. I question your devotion or interest in this industry if you do not at one point or another take the time to watch this documentary about Ric Flair. Because it's a lot of different things all at once. It's a biography of one of the greatest to ever step in the ring. It is a warning sign to any superstar who wants to step into the dark side, so to speak, and leave their families behind. Because it tells a very harrowing story about what Ric Flair did. Not Ric Flair in the ring. I want to stress this. Ric Flair as Richard Flair and how he treated his wife and his kids. Not directly. He wasn't abusive. It was...
He's just dedicated to his
craft.
craft.
And what he did was he sacrificed everything to be the top in the industry. And this documentary tells that tale to a T. It talks about him going into rehab. It talks about Reed, which I question your soul if you watch that segment about Reed and didn't have a tear in your eye. Because that was hard to watch. Ric Flair, I think when you talk about Ric Flair, you have to recognize everything he's done for the industry at any point in time. You have to do that. But at the same time, you have to recognize what we're seeing now is a definite warning sign to what wrestling is and could be if you are not careful. And I hope that he recognizes the fact that this is a learning opportunity for younger wrestlers. Not that I expect that he has to, but I hope that he uses it as a teaching method for wrestlers that are younger that he knows and trusts. Brian, what were your thoughts on the 30 for 30?
I mean, I guess I liked it, but at the end of it, for me, maybe the anticipation was too much. The build-up was too much, and I wasn't that satisfied with it. Especially compared to some of the other 30 for 30s I've seen. I wasn't really a fan of the cartoons.
Really?
Segments that were in there. I mean, there's which one? I think it was the 30 for 30 on the Miami University or something. It's a 2-part show. You can't tell me you couldn't have done 2-parter with Ric Flair.
That I agree. I definitely agree on that.
You didn't really touch on much of his career. You didn't, there were just certain things to me you should have touched on that weren't touched on. Especially for, the average wrestling fan or for a historian or, just a Ric Flair.
Right, like a true biography.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that to me, it almost like they spent too much time on the dark stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what sells. That's what they were looking. And what I've seen of it, it's like you almost feel sorry for the man at certain points. It's like you watch it going.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't have to be though.
Right. But what led to you to let me do this interview,
the thing that it really reminded me of, and granted, we're talking a couple of extremes here, but the wrestler, Mickey Rourke, Randy the Ram Robinson, you see this top of the line performer who is now struggling to get back into the limelight because he wants another run. That's the Mickey Rourke movie. Then you see Ric Flair, and the dark path that they take with that, to me, it was like they were trying to mimic that and capitalize on it because it sold so well in the theaters.
Thank you.
I can understand that, and it is a true part of what Ric Flair has gone through. But, Brian, to your point, I actually agree. They spent a lot more time on, here's what Ric Flair did wrong. And granted, yes, Ric Flair did a lot wrong. But if you're telling the complete Ric Flair story, you have to recognize more than just what the promo was or when he won the first title, what he was doing in WCW when they wanted him to retire, what he was doing when he came back to WWF and started working with Triple H in the back.
But even so. We want to make this darker, grittier,
right?
Whatever. To me, you didn't even go down that route. You wanted to, but you never did it. I mean, it is legendary for any fan of NWA, Crockett Promotions, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. We have heard these stories since the 80s. We have heard plenty of tales of the Horsemen climbing or selling out to Richmond Coliseum, climbing a Learjet, flying to Vegas, exiting off Vegas, shutting down Vegas, getting back on a Learjet, going to Hotlanta, going back to Vegas, and just partying the entire time.
Yeah.
Did you bring that up once? No. I think the most we got was Flair saying, well, I went to Japan 3 times in 2 days.
Okay. I have to dive in on this one because there's a lot of people who know. Now, younger fans don't. But let me give you this one to think on, and this is just me being me. We all know that the drama sells. We all know that sex sells. We all know that the dark side sells. The anticipation for the upcoming Star Wars movie in December is through the roof, bigger now than Thor Ragnarok, the anticipation for it. You have to be able, and Rick had a little bit to do with the creative direction of this, because he wasn't going to sign off on anything that made him look bad or any worse than he already felt. I give this one to everybody who is in the world of professional wrestling listening to my voice that has watched this 30 for 30. Watch it again. because he lays some very valuable lessons out on the table, which is what his goal was. And you have to be able to understand that if you are a single person during the 80s in pro wrestling, I have to ask, how the hell did you survive?
Yeah.
If you were married,
but
go ahead.
see, I get all that, but to me, if the purpose was to deliver a message, so to speak, I don't think you got the message out. Because to me, you should, if you wanted to highlight that, you should have gone 2 hours, a two-parter, and gone over that period of time to where he literally, his personal life suffered so badly.
You could have made this.
Why it suffered so badly.
You could have made this a 4-parter.
Sure, and I watched every minute of it.
Yeah, it was that good.
Ric Flair in the 70s, Ric Flair in the 80s, woo! Yeah. Ric Flair in the 90s, and Ric Flair today. What have we learned? But because of the fact that we're dealing with ESPN, and we're dealing with a company that still does not truly, genuinely understand the premise and the promise of pro wrestling, the person who created the concept for this had to get ESPN to sign off on this. You could have an Academy or Emmy award-winning piece of film footage, but if the network doesn't get behind it, it doesn't see the light of day. That's the problem that we face. Remember, pro wrestling in the world of the corporate. Remember, ESPN used to show world class and global whatever the hell.
AWA.
Yeah, GWF, AWA. But now, with the exception of choice events, you're lucky if you hear about it for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, well, I guess Coachman was as close as we got for a while.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be one of the ones. But
I thought he left.
He left ESPN.
Yep.
Left.
I don't know exactly why.
They're laying off 70 to 100 people after Thanksgiving.
No, they already laid a bunch off, including Sarah Walsh, who would just come back from a pregnancy.
And they want to go to a streaming service next year.
I think, sadly, we may be seeing the end of ESPN very soon.
No, it's still a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but see, here's the problem. They are losing numbers, and this is where, folks, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, I'm going to go there. ESPN is losing people because of the fact that a lot of their on-air personalities continue to push an agenda instead of pushing sports or entertainment.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to be a prick. Sorry. I don't give a flying rat's ass about Colin Kaepernick or who's taking a knee this week. I don't care about politics. I watch football to be entertained by football. Same for baseball, basketball, pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, Parcheesi, Yahtzee, or Tiddlywinks out of Paducah. I don't care about their politics. I don't care where they stand on social issues. That's their business, not mine. And it shouldn't be ESPN's policy. I like the Dan Le Batard show in the mornings or earlier, or depending on what time zone you're in. But when he starts getting political, and I don't think he can go an hour without mentioning the name Colin Kaepernick, or he's afraid his head or his rectum is going to explode. That's when I changed the channel. Mike and Mike started to get that bad. Mike and Mike are now in their last week because the network wanted to break them up. Thank you, Greenberg. Thank God Dan Patrick's still over on NBC Sports Network. I've never been a fan of First Fake. I've never been a fan of Overly Disputed or a lot of those shows because they have a tendency to start delving where most sports fans don't care. That's why ESPN is losing numbers. Yes, their app has been getting tremendous hits. I know because I watch football on it. That's what I watch on their app. That's it. I don't care who voted for who or who stands for what. 3-2 pitch, clock. It's deep, and I don't think it's playable. That's why I watch ESPN or any sports outlet. And fortunately, I think ESPN's starting to get back around to it because they saw the public outcry on people like Jamel Hill, who I'm sure is a very nice person. I don't know her. I don't watch Sports Center during that time slot. I'm at work. But I do. So, hey, look, like I said, that's why a lot of the sports networks are losing their numbers, because they're crossing the lines. They're crossing the streams, Egon. And that's just my side of the coin. Yours may be different. Results may vary.
As we get ready to close out tonight's show, Rob, stop it. Social maturity, sir. Disgusting, man.
Why are you crossing your arms? Tell the world why you're crossing your arms.
Pick him on my shirt again. Make him stop. Folks, if you're within the sound of my voice,
are just creeping onto that
if
thing.
you're within the sound of my voice, please, God, make them stop. No, but the 30 for 30, I agree that it could have gone 4, 6 hours, 12 hours, whatever. I'd have still watched it. There's so much ground to cover.
Yeah, they could have done a whole season.
Yeah.
The season of Flair.
Right.
A Flair for the gold. Why not bring that one back?
That'd have been
12,
amazing.
30 for 30.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been good. I think there is a lot more ground to cover, but I stand by my initial point that I said after it aired. Some people try to take issue with it. Hey, everybody's got their opinion. I question the love of an industry if you're not watching and studying this for both parts, the good and the bad. But let me just say, it does not mean, because this is what people were complaining about, I'm not saying you have to have cable and you have to, no. I'm saying you have to find a way and watch this and take note, because it is the indicator of both the good and the bad, and it's important to know the good things and the bad things that can happen.
All right. So my other issue with this, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in there they called him the Michael Jordan of pro wrestling.
Right.
Well, why don't you tell me why he's the Michael Jordan of pro wrestling?
That's true.
Tell me why, that he's 16 times. Tell me who he's beaten.
More than that.
Tell me about the Horsemen. Tell me about
companies.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me about
They
this.
grazed over so much of that. Yeah, it was a little frustrating. Well, let's go ahead and close out on this. November 25th at the Golden Pipes.
Oh.
Golden Pipes. Come on. Body.
Winchester, Virginia.
Body Renewed Fitness and Sports Center.
Yes, sir. We will.
One Verity's going to sleep.
No, I was just looking at the belt.
Ultimate Championship Wrestling's Ultimate Collision. We got a hell of a night coming up.
Ultimate Collision.
Yes, indeed. Battle Royal for the number one contender spot. Who will challenge Mr. Big Stuff? Got the tag team titles on the line.
Before the show.
Yeah, right. Apparently he's going to whip my ass. The Reformation taking on the tag team champions of Noise Pollution. Television championship will be defended as Ethan Cross defends against Jimmy Flame, one half of Cheap Thrills. We got MC123 is going to be in the house. I believe R.L. Smith is going to be in the house. Tremor is going to be in the house. Papa Stro will be in the house. Jeffrey Bravo will indeed be there. And folks, you do not want to miss this show. Get to eventbrite.com right now. Keyword UCW Ultimate Collision. Buy your tickets. Come see the Corner to Corner crew and all the talent from UCW as we bring you Ultimate Collision. It's going to be a hell of a night.
Where can they buy their tickets?
Eventbrite.com. Keyword UCW.
There you go.
Ultimate Collision.
Or
at the venue.
Or
UCWForever.com.
UCWForever.com. And there you go.
That was dumb.
That was bad.
Shut up. Damn it. I hate
Stan,
you guys.
America voted. You are not safe.
Not good.
You are the weakest link.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Already did that.
And with that, Rob, where do they catch you on social media? No. Let's, Brian, are you on social media?
Dance, my puppy. Dance.
I'm not doing it. Oh,
you're doing it.
Oh, no, I'm not doing
because
it.
without me, you don't get hits. I mean, you get hit, but you don't get the hits on social media without me.
Stereo. So, Rob, where do they find you on social
Brian
media?
just said he's bigger than you.
I mean,
Bigger. Did you get retweeted by the newest member of the Book Club this morning at like 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
I don't think so.
I did. Give it up.
Like, oh my God.
Oh
I got
my God.
retweeted.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Wait. Rob, Stan, didn't Brian get just as excited when he was retweeted by Miley Cyrus?
Hey, I don't care.
Hey, she came in like a wrecking ball.
She came in like a wrecking ball.
I'm now going to throw up
See,
my
that's how
trail
you.
mix.
That's how you pitch a softball and somebody knock it out the park. Stand pitch him, I hit him.
He is now.
Rob, where do they catch you on social media, brother?
CKR, that's air motto. Stand pitch, I hit him.
Brian is now the new thong coordinator for Kim Kardashian.
Oh, well, there are worse jobs.
Yes, you could be the official thong.
I'll catch him.
You could be the thong cleaner for Kim Kardashian.
Ew.
Stand pitch, Rob catch, I hit.
Wait, what?
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
This just went totally south. Rob, please, give us your social media so we can get the hell out of here.
It's 11:05. Kids.
Stay with Rob before we get out with the show.
At Rob Hefner on Facebook, at Rob Hefner C2C on the Twitter.
We're about to go.
RDHW on the Instagram. Go Stan, hurry up.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Rob. You can finish now.
Oh, my
I'll shut
God.
up.
This is getting uncomfortable.
I'm tired. I'm asking my call. I'm going to chat again.
Cheshire cat up in this mug.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
C2C Radio show for the show here. UCW for forever.com for UCW 2017 on the Twitter. UCW will be having a Instagram very soon. We are in the midst of just putting that together. And UCW Ultimate Championship Wrestling LLC on Facebook. Of course, I can be found on Twitter at Stan from Krypton. And, oh, by the way, Corner to Corner on Instagram.
We need to find another. Come on, dude. Stan from Krypton. It's old. It's been like 2 years.
And
I
now
know,
you got
even-
280 characters, so it'll fit now. Don't stop complaining.
Hey, tell them what I changed my name to.
Professor Dickweed.
Thank you. Go and finish it up.
I'm not doing it.
You
not doing
need
it.
to finish it?
I'm not telling anybody that you can be found on Twitter at STRCP21. I'm not doing it.
What about Facebook?
You're not on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
No, your wife doesn't let you use it.
I'm on Facebook. Tell them where I'm at.
You're not.
Come on, Bannon. Flip that bow.
No! Oh, Jesus, no.
And don't forget, the cast of Corner to Corner and members of the Beyond Ringside Radio Network will be in Hickson, Tennessee.
Thank you for saving.
Yes, thank you, Eddie. You have to forgive Stan. The shirt is so tight it's rubbed his nipples.
It makes my nipples hurt.
They're poking out.
Obviously, Stan's bigger than a B cup, or this wouldn't be a problem.
What was the movie? Austin Powers? No. Which one had the
machine guns in the bra?
Yeah.
That was Austin Powers.
Was that Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Stan looks like now. It looks like he got machine guns poking
Well, the
out.
rest of the Beyond Ringside Radio family will be at the Trios tournament. And if you would like to see the other people sitting outside next to the car, that will be the Corner to Corner crew.
They won't let us in
because Eddie's like, who the hell are these people?
No, I don't know them.
Actually, that's what Stan says all the time. I don't know them.
Oh, that's not what I've...
That's why as he's climbing out the window.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this edition of Corner Wrestling Radio. We will most likely record an episode while we are in Tennessee.
Or on the way back.
Yeah. Maybe we'll broadcast live from there.
8 hours.
Aside from that, we will not be on the air during Survivor Series. I repeat, we will not be on the air during Survivor Series.
Due to the 8-hour car ride.
Yes, most of us will be sleeping by the time we get home. Suck it. Sorry, we're going to be tired. We'll see you.
Does that mean you're pitching now? Or catching?
Wait, what?
Stan always catches.
Wait, whoa. Wrong way, Jones. Wrong way.
Okay, sorry.
Take us out of here.
Then I'll do this for Stan.
Remember, T-shirts, XL, not
No.
medium.
T-shirts, 2XL for you,
For-
buddy.
I don't need...
You do?
I don't
Look
need
at
it.
how big that thing is.
Children! For Rob.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, help.
For Brian.
Yeah, Stan's got the end of disease right now.
This is fast.
The end of...
I can't do it, but I have to. What the hell does that mean?
You can't see the end of your...
This is Fast Eddie Lane saying, this is Don Pardo saying, good night.